To Dust. Written by Kristen Mullings. 2025 copyright. Chapter 10. Shatter the Thread. The sky split like skin beneath a blade. A seam of light, wrong and seething, slashed through the void above Myeth's head. It pulsed with color no human eye should understand, violet and void black, silver that whispered, red that bled memory. The gate behind us slammed shut, locking with a hiss that shivered through my bones. Myeth didn't move. Her face was still, too still. Porcelain perfect, lips parted in a semblance of breath, but her chest never rose. Her eyes shimmered with liquid obsidian, vast and ancient, and I knew then. She wasn't in control. The thing inside her stirred. It moved behind her gaze, coiling like oil through her veins, distorting the edges of her frame like a heat mirage. Its voice poured from her mouth, not hers, but something deeper. Something not of this realm. The girl of ash. The prince unbound. You walk into my cradle with fire on your tongues. Kael stepped forward, his blade low, crackling with infernal light. His shoulders were rigid, but I could feel the tremor in him. The hesitation. The fear. Release her, he growled. Let her soul go, and I might leave you whole. The creature smiled. Myeth's lips curled like flower petals wilting in reverse. The soul chose. The body offered. I did not force. I do not take what is not already mine. You're lying, I said, stepping beside Kael. You fed on her grief. On her rage. You tricked her into becoming your host. Did you not do the same to him? It asked, gaze sliding to Kael. I stiffened. Kael's jaw clenched, but he said nothing. You called him, the voice said. Bound him to your circle. Fed him your need. You whispered help when you should have screamed no. And now, look at what he is. Kael's eyes burned brighter, golden fire licking at his skin. He didn't deny it. I reached for his hand, but he pulled away. I didn't make you do it, I whispered. No, he said. But you didn't stop me. The ground beneath Myeth cracked. Spikes of black crystal erupted from the dais, spiraling around her like ribs. The air turned heavy, thick with memory, sorrow, rage. The creature was building something. A tether, a passage, a way to step through fully. I don't want to fight you, I said. Myeth, if there's anything left of you, listen to me. Her mouth opened. A scream bled from it, fractured, layered, the sound of 1,000 voices crying out from a pit of stars. It knocked us backward. My wards flared just in time to stop us from being torn to pieces. Kael leapt up first, faster than I'd ever seen him move. His wings, now jagged, scale things, unfurled with a snap. He launched himself toward the dais. Myeth, he shouted. You don't have to carry him. Fight it. The demon struck him mid-air. Not with claws. Not with force. With memory. Kael hit the ground hard. A scream ripped from his throat, not from pain, but from what he saw. I could feel it through the bond still humming between us. His mind was being unmade, reliving every horror, every regret, every moment he thought he'd buried. His first kill. The war. The fire he set to his own father's temple. And me. Begging him not to take the pact. He writhed on the stone floor, nails clawing at his head. No, no, I chose, Seren, get out of here. I ran to him. Dropped to my knees and cupped his face. His eyes were pitch now, no grey, no gold, just abyss. The lines of his face had sharpened. His horns were longer. His skin darker. The shift was accelerating. Kael. Look at me. It's not real. None of it is real. His breath came in broken gasps. He's in me. I can't stop it. He's ripping me apart. I wrapped my arms around him. My magic flooded outward, forming a ward that glowed gold-white, piercing the darkness pressing in. You're not a puppet, I whispered fiercely. You're not a weapon. You're Kael. And I love you. Even like this. Even if you burn. For a moment, he stilled. Then the fire in his eyes returned. Then we end this. Together. We stood side by side. Myeth, or what was left of her, floated above the dais now. The crystal ribs had fully encased her, forming a spire that reached into the split sky. The thing inside her stretched its limbs, wings of molten bone, a crown of entropy, a voice like falling stars. You cannot kill me, it said. I was born before your gods wept. I taught them how to die. Kael looked at me. You ready? I nodded. Let's tear him out. We attacked as one. Kael flew into the storm with a roar, his sword blazing. I followed from below, flames coiling around my arms, old runes tattooed into my skin igniting one by one. I chanted the unbinding, a ritual forbidden for centuries, one that could sever soul from vessel, but only if the host was willing. Myeth, please, I called silently. Give me a sign. Show me you are still there. The creature screamed and met Kael mid-air. The clash sent shockwaves through the realm. Stars fell like ash. The crystal spire cracked. I dove upward and struck at the base of the ribs, carving sigils into the stone. The unbinding flared, golden light piercing through. The demon shrieked, Myeth's voice echoing beneath it. Seren. My name. Just once. But it was her voice. She was still there. Kael pierced the creature's wing, fire exploding from the wound. I drove my blade into the runes I'd carved. Light flooded the dais. The world fractured. When I opened my eyes, the void was gone. The gate lay broken behind us. The sky was normal, clouded, soft, grey. Kael stood at the center of a ruined field, panting, smoke rising from his skin. Myeth lay crumpled at his feet. I ran to her. She was still. Lifeless. But her face was at peace. She had let go. She had been strong enough to fight. Kael dropped to his knees beside me. She's free. I nodded, tears stinging. She is. We stayed like that for a long time, three broken things in a ruined world. Later, as we made camp in the shadow of the gate's remains, Kael sat apart from me. Quiet. Still. The bond between us frayed more each hour. His features had changed. More demon than man now. The pull of the abyss in him no longer passive, it whispered, and sometimes he answered. You're slipping, I said softly. He looked at me with eyes too bright. I know. Is there a way back? He was silent for a long time. Then, not unless I give it up. The pact. He nodded. I moved closer. Then do it. If I do, he said, I'll die. I stared at him, breath catching. Kael. He touched my face. You gave me a reason to be something more than rage. Something more than a weapon. But I'm not him anymore. Yes, you are, I said, voice cracking. You are. You're just buried. We'll dig you out. I don't care if we burn in the process. I won't leave you behind. His smile was sad. You say that now. But you felt it too, didn't you? When we were in the void. When the prince tried to break us. I nodded slowly. Yes. And part of you wanted to run. Yes. He leaned forward, forehead against mine. Then do it now. While you still can. I held his face in both hands. I'm not leaving. You should. I'm not. His breath hitched. Then stay until I'm gone. Just, don't look away. And for the first time since the sky bled, I saw Kael cry. Chapter 11, The Pact of Blood and Fire. Kael collapsed, and the ground beneath him cracked. His body convulsed, back arching in an unnatural bend, a sound like splitting stone tearing from his throat. The magic tether snapped taut, vibrating in the air between us like a frayed cord ready to break. Hold him down. I screamed. The wind whipped against my voice, but the circle held. The sigils etched into the stone floor pulsed with blood-red light, flickering as if struggling to stay alive. Kael's fingers clawed at the ground, nails blackening, curling like talons. His eyes were no longer his own, too bright, too gold, too hollow. He wasn't entirely Kael anymore. But he wasn't the demon either. He was something between. And that terrified me. I slammed my hands against the ritual markings, pressing harder, pouring every last shred of my will into the spell. Kael, listen to me. I shouted. You are not him. You are not it. Fight. He thrashed again. A shockwave rippled outward, toppling every candle, scattering my protective dust. The air smelled of charred bone and ash. The demon inside him laughed, a sound that echoed from nowhere and everywhere at once. She thinks you can be saved, it sneered. How quaint. Kael's voice tore free, jagged and raw. Seren, don't stop. I didn't. And then he remembered. They say your life flashes before your eyes before death. For him, it started long before that. Before the flames. Before the throne of bone. Before the night he bled into the circle and whispered yes. I was a soldier once, he would have said, if he could speak past the agony. A son. A brother. But war burns away the layers of who you were, until all that's left is bone and rage. Until steel isn't enough to keep breathing. That's when he found me. Rain poured in sheets, washing the dead clean. I crouched among corpses, sword broken, hands shaking. The high pass was gone. My men, my boys, slaughtered. One of them had been just 16. Del. He hummed lullabies at night when the fear crept in. His throat had been slit open like livestock. And the gods. They watched. Silent. Indifferent. Something cracked in me that night. I didn't pray. I cursed. Roared at the stars. Demanded they fix what they broke. But it wasn't the gods who came. It was him. The fire began at the edges of my vision, not burning the world, but revealing what lay beneath. The trees melted into shadow. The sky split like a wound. And through the smoke, he came. Tall. Regal. Cloaked in tattered black, lined with crimson. Eyes like liquid dusk. The ancient prince. Erzalek. Once a god. Now a demon. He smiled like he'd waited lifetimes to find me. Kael of the hollow banner. I stood. You know me. I know your grief. I drink your fury. I taste your doubt like sweet wine. What do you want? It is not what I want. It is what you are willing to give. I looked down at my blood-stained hands. I have nothing left. You have your name. Your soul. Your fire. He leaned in. And you would trade all of it to save what still matters. I narrowed my eyes. What are you talking about? He didn't answer. He invaded. Suddenly, she was there. Lena. Little hands. Dark curls. Eyes too bright for a world this cruel. My sister, I whispered. She's dead. She's not, he said. But she will be. Unless. Unless I said yes. I didn't ask how he knew. Didn't care. I only heard the seconds ticking between her breath and her death. You'll save her? I asked. I will spare her, he corrected. But nothing is free, little flame. I stared into his eyes. Name it. The ritual was simple. All the worst things in the world usually are. Ash. Bone. Blood. Kneel. Cut. Speak. I said the words in that twisted tongue, and something inside me screamed. Not aloud, deep. My soul peeled like bark. Layer by layer. He devoured the part that remembered. The part that loved. And then he rebuilt me. Stronger. Faster. Immortal. A weapon. His weapon. But not yet his puppet. The next morning, I walked into the raiders' camp with only my fists. I tore them apart. No sword. No flame. Only fury. And his voice in my head, guiding every strike. I found Lena tied to a stake. Eyes wide. Pale face. She screamed when she saw me. Not because I was a stranger. Because I wasn't. My horns had started to grow. My skin, wrong. My voice, too deep. My shadow, it moved when I didn't. She cried when I tried to hold her. You're not him, she said. And she was right. She lived. He kept that promise. But she ran that night. Into the hills. I never saw her again. And I stopped pretending I'd made the deal for anyone but myself. Because I liked the power. The fear. The control. I fought for empires. For kings. For coin. For lies. Until another voice called me. Not a prince. A witch. Her circle was crooked. Her chant shaky. She cried her blood instead of offering it. But when she said my name, the true one, I felt something shift. She didn't summon me to kill. She asked for help. And for the first time in decades, I wanted to help. Not because he told me to. Because I chose to. And I knew, even then, that she'd break me. Not with spells. But with mercy. And I would burn the world for her. But now, I sit at the edge of another gate, by the ashes of another deal, and I feel him tightening his grip. The prince is closer to the surface than he's ever been. And I don't know if love is enough to stop him. Because every time I used his power, he rooted deeper. Until his voice felt like mine. Until the line blurred. And now. The next time I shift. The next time I burn. There may be no one left to come back. Chapter 12, The Price of Severance. They told me no spell could sever a soul pact once it was sealed. They warned me, demonic threads do not unravel, they only strangle tighter. But love is a kind of madness. And I was already drowning in it. So I lied. I stole. I bled. And I came here, into the mouth of the morning wood, where the trees whisper in tongues too old for men or gods. Where the last severance witch was buried, still pulsing with the secrets no one else dared to claim. Kael'Thorne followed me. Not because he didn't want to. But because he couldn't. The last shift had left him hollow-eyed, knuckles raw, pupils rimmed with red fire. He'd blacked out after Myth's confrontation, after the earth split and the sky screamed, and he nearly killed the one thing anchoring him to himself. Me? When he came to, he wouldn't look me in the eye. I touched his face and felt nothing but tremors. His magic rippled through mine like a broken cord. His voice rasped with guilt, "If I lose myself, Seren, I want you to be the one to end it." But I never made that vow. I couldn't. Because deep inside, something told me there was still time. Still a chance. One last door unopened. And it was buried here, under rotten root, where all things forbidden came to fester. The forest groaned around me, alive with ancient grief. Each step forward felt like walking through someone's dying breath. My boots crunched bones beneath moss. Pale fungi lit the path in pulses, veins glowing a sickly violet. Trees bent toward me, bark cracked with watching eyes. They knew what I came for. And they hated me for it. But I kept walking, chanting the binding lullaby I'd memorized from the Severance Codex, written in blood by the last witch who'd tried to undo what the demon princes had done. Her story ended with her soul ripped into three. But her spell survived. Barely. Now it was carved into my skin. A map. A prayer. A promise. If I died tonight, I'd die trying. I found the shrine just past a grove of broken-necked statues. It wasn't a temple. It was a mouth. A hollow tree, black and slick with something not quite sap, opening into a spiral stair that led down into the roots of the world. The deeper I went, the louder the voices became. Turn back. He's already lost. You're next. But I bit my tongue until it bled and pressed forward. At the bottom, the chamber opened like a wound. Stone altar. Bone sconces. A mirror carved of obsidian, framed in teeth. And behind it, a heart. Still beating. Still warm. The heart of the Severance Witch herself. It pulsed once. Twice. Then spoke, in a voice that echoed in marrow. Why do you come? I swallowed the taste of fear. To sever a pact. What do you offer? My soul. Silence. Then a slow, grinding sound like roots tearing through stone. Not enough. I stepped closer. Then take my magic. Take my memories. Take whatever you need, just don't take him. The heart pulsed again. Faster. And suddenly the chamber filled with shadows, memories not my own flashing like fire behind my eyes. The Severance Witch showed me what she saw the moment she tried to break her own pact. Her lover had begged her not to. She'd gone ahead anyway. And in the end, he died screaming, pulled into the rift between realms. And she lived. But only half. Because love torn by force always leaves something bleeding. I shook the vision away, and set the mirror on the altar. Carved the final rune into my palm. Spoke Kael's true name, the one only I knew. The one I'd pulled from his fever-dreamed memories when we first touched souls. The mirror rippled. And Kael appeared inside it. Not the Kael I left behind. This one was twisted, horned, shrouded in shadow, wings outstretched behind him like a storm waiting to break. His eyes locked on mine. Not demon eyes. His eyes? Seren. I reached toward the glass. Kael, I found it. I can sever the bond. I just need you to. But his voice boomed, cracking the stone. No. The mirror shuddered. You don't understand what he's become. What I've let in. If you try this, if you force the severing, you might save me, but damn yourself. I clenched my jaw. I'd rather lose myself than lose you. His expression shattered. For a heartbeat, he looked like the boy from my visions. The one who used to sing his sister to sleep, who laughed in the rain, who held me like the world might end. Then the demon roared behind his eyes and he backed away. I screamed the incantation. The runes blazed. My body arched with pain as the spell tore through me. And I felt it, the thread between us, glowing red-hot, stretching like a cord of fate gone brittle. I saw his soul in mine. His fire in my veins. His scars. His hopes. His agony. And I saw the prince, Erzalek, reaching through the tether, trying to claw his way into me as the bond began to fray. You dare break what I claimed. The mirror cracked. My arms blistered. My blood smoked. You love him so much you'll let me have you. And still I chanted. Still I screamed. Still I held. Because if this was the cost, if trading myself meant freeing Kael from the burning cage he could never escape, then so be it. I was a witch. I was born to bleed. And he had bled for too long. The moment it snapped, the chamber went still. No echo. No whisper. Only silence. Then the mirror shattered. The heart turned to dust. And I collapsed. When I woke, I was outside the shrine, lying in Kael's arms. His face was soaked in tears. Real ones. No fire in his eyes. No horns. No shadow. Just Kael. His hands trembled as they brushed the blood from my cheek. You came back, I whispered. He nodded, breath caught. And so did you. I looked into his eyes and felt it, the bond was gone. No more tether. No more curse. We were free. But I could also feel something missing. My magic was fractured. My soul, quieter. Like I'd left a part of myself down there in that shrine. But Kael. He was whole. For the first time since I'd known him. And as he pulled me close, as we sat in the ash of old gods and broken promises, I realized something deeper than fear. Sometimes love doesn't save you. Sometimes it costs you. But it's still worth it. Every time.